The dumb arguments only grow. This is one that I caught some time ago. Never did a video on it, and then I saw it surface yet again on Twitter. And the argument goes like this. Kyle Rittenhouse, he planned that shooting of Joseph Rosenbaum. He went to the protest specifically for the purpose of killing somebody. And therefore, Joseph Rosenbaum fell into his trap. Well, can we put that one to rest? Sure. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so let's take a look here at the evidence. What evidence is there that Kyle planned it? Well, a lot of that evidence is based on falsehoods. First of all, a lot of people still think that Kyle Rittenhouse drove across the state line with his rifle. Never minding the fact that the rifle was not in Illinois, nor was it ever in Illinois. It was in Wisconsin. They also think that his mother drove him to the protest. You know, there's no amount of evidence that's going to convince these people otherwise. They're just stupid. And there's just not much you can do about stupid. But let's suppose that Kyle still had this crafty plan put together where he would lure Joseph Rosenbaum into attacking him so that he could shoot him. Well, let's see here. What is the evidence against this? Well, how about the prosecutor's own words? This is the criminal complaint filed by the prosecutor. They're the ones that are charging Kyle. So what do they say? Well, when we scroll down a little bit, count 1, first-degree reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. The above-named defendant on or about Tuesday, August 25th, 2020, in the city of Kenosha, did recklessly cause the death of Joseph Rosenbaum under circumstances which show utter disregard for human life. Contrary to these sections, and I'm not even going to bother with them, a Class B felony, and upon conviction may be sentenced to a term of imprisonment not to exceed 60 years. And further, invoking the provisions of Section 939, whatever, because the defendant committed this offense while using a dangerous weapon, the maximum term of imprisonment for the felony may be increased by not more than 5 years. And so all the anti-Kyles are going, you see, he planned it. That's what the prosecutor's saying. But no, the prosecutor is charging him here with first-degree reckless homicide, not intentional. So how could Kyle have plotted this whole thing out and only be charged with reckless homicide? I mean, if he truly did plan this, that's intentional homicide by the very definition of it. Let's go ahead and read a little bit further. Now, this is count 2, first degree recklessly endangering safety. Okay, that's not related to anything associated with JoJo Rosenbaum. This is Richard McGinnis. And you think, oh, here we go. First degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. And now the anti-Kyles go, you see, it was intentional homicide. But there's only a small problem with it. The above named defendant, on or about Tuesday, whatever, did cause the death of Anthony Huber, not Joseph Rosenbaum, with an intent to kill that person. Now, remember, Anthony Huber chased Kyle down after Kyle shot Joseph Rosenbaum. So if Kyle really was out there looking for somebody to shoot, why wasn't he charged with intentional homicide for the shooting of Joseph Rosenbaum? That was the first one. Or was shooting Rosenbaum and then getting chased so he could shoot somebody else part of the plan? That's a hell of a plan. I would never have been able to dream that up in a million years. So let's see here. We'll look in the probable cause statement. and let's see if there's any mention whatsoever of Kyle plotting anything. Okay. You talk about the civil unrest. Talk about somebody being shot at a location. That's Joseph Rosenbaum. Okay, and so they mentioned that Kyle Rittenhouse, the defendant, is running southwest across the eastern portion of the car source parking lot. The defendant is a resident of Antioch. The defendant can clearly be seen holding a long gun. The recovered magazine, blah, blah, blah. Following the defendant is Rosenbaum, and trailing behind the defendant is Richard McGinnis. So what there points to a planning of a murder. Okay, Rosenbaum throws an object at the defendant. The object does not hit the defendant. Rosenbaum appears to be unarmed for the duration of the video. Yells something nasty. A loud bang is heard. Gee, it sounds like a gunshot, and in fact, it was a gunshot. That was also part of Kyle's plan. Josh Zeminski was in on it with Kyle here. When I run and JoJo follows me, shoot your gun off. That's very important now. We got to get the timing. They probably even synchronized their watches so that Joshua Zeminski would fire the gun at just the right moment. Okay, then it talks about what Kyle did after the shooting. I don't think anything there would point to a planning or a plotting of a killing. In fact, I read it and nope, there's nothing there. Okay, so let's take a look and see if there's anything in here. This is talking about McGinnis. And it's kind of important. Let's just read this. McGinnis stated that the first round went into the ground, and when the second shot went off, the defendant actually had the gun aimed at Rosenbaum. McGinnis stated that he did not hear the two exchange any words. McGinnis said that the unarmed guy, Rosenbaum, was trying to get the defendant's gun. McGinnis demonstrated by extending both of his hands in a quick grabbing motion and did that as a visual on how Rosenbaum tried to reach for the defendant's gun, all part of Kyle's evil plot. Poor Rosenbaum, man. He's falling right into all of this. And then it mentions about McGinnis says that he made a motion for the gun or whatever. Now, let's go and read down. The third video shows the defendant running northbound on Sheridan Road after he shot Rosenbaum. And people are yelling, beat him up, get him. All part of the plot. Kyle really masterfully synchronized all this beautifully. Somebody says, what did he do? What did he do? Just shot someone. Okay. As the defendant is on the ground, so Kyle has tripped and fallen, an unidentified male wearing a dark-colored top and light-colored pants jumps at and over the defendant. Based on the sounds of gunshots in the video and the position of the defendant's gun, it appears that he fires 2 shots in quick succession at the person's balls, but missed. It appears that the person was not hit as he then runs away from the defendant, the luckiest guy in Kenosha. A second person who was later identified as Anthony Huber. Oh, okay, here's where the plot comes up. Okay. A second person who was later identified as Anthony Huber approaches the defendant, like he kind of strolls up to him, who is still on the ground on his back. Huber has a skateboard in his right hand. When Huber reaches the defendant, it appears that he's reaching for the defendant's gun with his left hand as the skateboard makes contact with the defendant's left shoulder. I love how they describe this. It makes contact. Just like Rocky Marciano's fist made contact with Ezzard Charles's face in the 1950s. Huber appears to be trying to pull the gun away from the defendant. It's all part of the plot. Excellent work there, Kyle. The defendant rolls towards his left side, and as Huber appears to be trying to grab the gun is pointed at Huber's body. Yeah, when you grab a gun by the barrel and pull on it, the barrel tends to point right at you. That's why you don't do that. The defendant then fires 1 round, which can be heard on the video. Huber staggers away like the dummy he is, taking several steps, then it collapses to the ground. Huber subsequently died from his gunshot wound. Okay, so I don't see anything in there about a plot to kill Huber. The intentional homicide is the prosecutors believe that Kyle had an opportunity not to shoot Huber and decided, to hell with him, I'm going to kill him. Of course, Huber grabbing the barrel is going to throw a monkey wrench in that plan. Okay, so we can read the medical examiner's autopsy report, just an excerpt from it. Nothing there. And that's it. So, was Kyle plotting to kill people that night? Not a shred of evidence of it. They looked through his social media accounts, no mention of it. None of his behavior that night comes off as somebody trying to lure somebody into a confrontation. And if you disagree, take the challenge. I have the Kyle Rittenhouse challenge. Anybody who thinks he was there to hurt people that night can take the challenge, and you can answer about 7 or 8 questions and show that you really know your stuff. And so far, nobody's been able to do it. Were the shootings planned? That's a dumb argument. Quit making these dumb arguments. If you quit making these dumb arguments, you won't come off as dumb anymore. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.